This is Courtney. Courtney is a mother living in South Korea. She is a foreigner and she is going through the process of divorcing her husband, who she alleges is abusive. And with that being said, we have talked about what is going on over in South Korea, how they are very anti feminist, how they are very patriarchal, how they edify men. So imagine the situation that she is having with this. With her husband, her ex husband, as she tries to get custody or see her son.
Okay, my video keeps getting deleted, but just for some backstory, I had gone to the police station after, finally reporting the abusive situation with my husband and requested to go to a women's shelter. So basically, what had happened is, I got to the police station. There was some counselors from, a women's unit or whatever for domestic violence who came to the police station to help. Now, the part that, caused all this issue was they had told me that I would be going home with my son. They were holding, my son while they went over some resources with me. They seemed really helpful, like they actually cared and could make a difference, all for, at the end of it, me to be talking with them and my mother-in-law jolted out the door. I will give, some more information on that later, but every time I make a long video on here, it just happens to get kind of like do something weird and get deleted while I'm trying to upload it. But so she jolted out the door. I did, cry and speak in Korean and say, I'm his mother. I don't agree to this. I don't give permission for my son to go with his grandmother. They won't return him. I even, was on the ground begging and crying. The police officer present at that time didn't intervene, didn't help. Neither did, the domestic violence counselors present. And, then on top of that, I had, requested the CCTV of the issue, about a week later, trying to prove that she had jolted out to the door, not to blame the police station per se. And they said they would get back within 2 weeks with a yes or no, and they just ignored my claim. When I spoke to people online to report, what happened with my son and my son's kidnapping and being withheld, they, messaged me that they contacted the police station. The police station said that I had willingly, consented to my son being taken that day. Both parents had consented, which is a lie. And, I told her, no, that's a lie. I did not. The police are just trying to cover for themselves at that police station, at Sobu Hwasong police station, to which she basically told me, okay, I'll call you back and I'll double check. She did not call me back. She had closed the report on e-people at the National, Police Agency that same day and never gave me a call back. So, my son has been gone since then. Anytime, I called the police or tried to talk to them to get him back, they told me, even though I do have a right to see him, they cannot go and force my mother-in-law to open the door. I would need a court order demanding that in order, showing full custody for me to be able to get him back. This is where I really feel that Korean law fails victims, as well as just, general, spouses that are married. You're married and you have, 50-50 custody within your marriage of your child, but yet, you're not allowed to use your parental rights or state where they can and cannot go. Grandparents, can even just come and pick them up and not return them as well. I have seen, similar problems, be mentioned about Japan as well. But I really do think that, this is a big problem for victims as well, because a lot of the times when we're leaving, that's the most dangerous time. And, our perpetrators use laws like this, as well as, the defamation laws to kind of limit what we can do in regards to leaving, with our children, as well as speaking out on what's going on. Not only that, but when I did end up going to, the family violence, counseling with the ladies who showed up that day later on for a couple weeks, every time I would go, rather than them, trying to have my back as a victim and, talk to me about what had happened, they just told me to sit patiently, be a good wife, and basically wait on my son to be returned and not to scare my husband away further and not to report him, not to get a divorce lawyer or a custody. They didn't take any accountability for the fact that they basically let my mother-in-law run out and, they acted like I was overreacting. Later on, when I requested, another one of their name cards because I had lost the original one, they refused to give me their name cards with their information on it. And ultimately, they didn't take any accountability for the role they played in the day of my son's kidnapping. So I do feel that, victims here are often, done wrong by the system that's supposed to protect them. We're either, a victim for a second time by the police, by the way they handle our cases, or we're just asked what we did to cost them. Korea really needs to change how they handle women as well as foreigners in these cases, as we do take up quite a vast amount of the population. So Korea, I hope that you do what's right, not only for me, but everyone else going through similar situations. And I hope I get to see my son soon. And I hope, not too many women have to go through the same thing that I did.
Courtney is here on YouTube, so I'm only going to share one of her videos, and from there you can go over to her page and you can watch her videos for all of her stories. I was asked to make this video, so that is what I'm doing. When you go into these foreign countries, you need to be aware of the country, the culture, how they treat women before you decide to get married and have children with these men in these countries. So go ahead, listen to this woman's story. Her page, you can go over to her page to see where she is with her custody battle. This video was made back in July, and she did say in one of her more recent videos that she has a custody agreement, or I'm sorry, a custody court date coming up soon. So if you are interested in knowing and understanding more about custody arrangements in a foreign country, go ahead and follow Courtney on YouTube.